Earth is a water planet. Not only are the oceans a fundamental element of our ecosystem, but the majority of life on Earth swims, crawls, eats, fights, and lives in our seas. What are the consequences of knowing so little about the biodiversity of life in the oceans and its ties to the health of the planet? All nations are affected by overfishing, the breakdown of international fisheries, pollution, and the destruction of coastal habitats. Shifts in ocean temperatures affect where a species decides to live and travel. Warmer surfaces also limit the distribution of essential nutrients. Meanwhile, plankton populations, the base of the oceanic food web, are constantly shifting in size and location as ocean conditions change. In fact, our seas hold innumerable mysterious species that react to and impact the environment in which they live. These are but a few examples of the complex underwater world. As the system transforms, how is every other species in the food web impacted, including humans? Recently, scientists from over 80 nations, working under the Census of Marine Life, have been deploying new technologies that monitor and measure life within an emerging global ocean observing system. New advances in acoustic sensing allow us to track animals at a scale tens of thousands of times greater than previously possible. This aids in the mapping of fish stock distribution and the building of sustainable fisheries. The cataloging of short DNA sequences allows for the rapid and accurate identification of life, from microbes to fish. With this technique, authorities can detect endangered species being illegally sold in world markets, and researchers can better catalog and monitor the diversity of life in our seas. By fitting animals with tiny sensors and satellite links, we can study previously inaccessible areas of the oceans. For instance, as a bluefin tuna is detected, we can follow its travels from Florida to Italy. In the case of the Pacific salmon, we are better equipped to know where and why these fish die. These tags also collect ecosystem data from the animal's surroundings, such as light, depth, temperature, and salinity. Animals are proving to be remarkable oceanographers. The elephant seal dives up to 1.5 kilometers below the surface and spends 10 months of the year at sea. The white shark regularly travels 4,000 kilometers from California to Hawaii. By tagging a multitude of species, we can track their migratory routes and identify feeding and mating hotspots. Technologies such as these, being implemented in Earth and ocean observing systems, can help us monitor, track, and study the health of the oceans and the life within them. The findings from this research are being stored in the Ocean Biogeographic Information System, a gigantic global database available to people worldwide. These initiatives, conducted over the long term with international cooperation, will allow us to measure the impact of climate change on marine life, manage our fisheries, coastal ecosystems, and water pollution, detect harmful bacteria in our seas, and discover new pharmaceuticals to help save lives. We rely on the oceans for energy, weather, food, and recreation. We must invest in technologies that will allow us to understand the relationship between us and the rich ecosystem of which we are a part.